I had top neurologists telling me that, you know what, you had a great career, you have a life after wrestling, and you want to be comfortable. You don't want to be in pain the rest of your life. We're going to fix your back, but you're going to have to stop wrestling.
And are you rolling? I didn't see anyone roll.
I'm not rolling.
Did you roll at all?
No.
None of us are rolling, so I'm not sure. This is our cameraman is Nathan Orton, one of the great comedians, upcoming comedians. He's a New Yorker like I am. Where can people find you, Nate? Beside Astoria, where can they find you online? Nathan Orton NYC on Instagram. Okay, you got that. We're all going to follow you. Everybody's going to follow you. So tonight at SICW, which I call Spectacular International Championship Wrestling, this man, who I've known before this man was born, I think, Cowboy Bob Orton, has the arm healed up?
Yeah, it's good now.
You don't have the cast on tonight?
I don't have the cast on.
No. Well, Herb Simmons, SICW, the main man, presented you tonight with the St. Louis Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. What is this? I know what it means to you, but tell everybody watching what it means. Nate, if you want to come in, please do.
Oh, it means an awful lot. Coming from Herb Simmons, he's brought some of the greatest wrestlers in the country in, and to be a part of this is just amazing.
What would you like to say to your fans out there, some of them who loved you and some of them, back in the Roddy Piper days, weren't too crazy about you?
They didn't like me too much.
No, they didn't.
But I sure do appreciate them coming to the matches, and if I see anybody and you want to come up and say hi, you're more than welcome to.
Where do they find you?
I appreciate the wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm all over the place.
Are you? We're here right now. That's good. So you come to Missouri and just drive around. He'll be around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Randy Orton. First of all, before we talk about your dad, I want to tell you this latest comeback of yours has been magnificent. I've never seen you in such great shape.
Thanks.
Everything has been so good. But what do you want to say to this guy? What influence was he on your life in the pro wrestling business?
He was. I'll take it. He was.
I
got it. I can hold it. He was everything to me in this business. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. As I said earlier in the ring, golly, it's been 24 years since he made that phone call, and we got in the ring a little bit. I remember early on, I was practicing body slams. And, I'm trying to take care of my old man. So, I let him down real slow, and he was like, God damn it, kid, slam me. And from then on, I do a good dad. But, he got me in, and it's because of his hard work and all those sacrifices and all that time away from home that I'm here. So, if anything, thank you, Dad, for everything you did throughout the years. Yeah. You got me right in that door, man. Yeah. I know a lot of guys that have that hustle, that have had to find their own way into the business. I don't know that I have that, just being honest. So I don't know that I would have found my way into the ring without you. So I'm very lucky to have you, Grandpa, Uncle Barry. Yeah. Thank you.
What was the one thing that you taught him that you see in his career?
I taught him to keep his ears open and his mouth shut.
Okay. And what is something other than that you learned from your dad that even today resonates in your head?
Well, watching old tapes of my father is where I think I learned the most. And that's because, I think even before I popped in an old VHS tape of Dad, I had started having a few matches, and I'd watch other guys. I grew up with this guy. Let me watch some other wrestlers, Tito Santana, Harley Race, even Flair. And when I popped in a Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. tape, I realized, without even really watching as much of his old stuff, I kind of had the same body language. I was selling the same. It was like in my blood, you know. So then when I realized, like, oh my God, like this is how I can really emulate my father and respect him in that manner with him getting my foot through the door, is watch old tapes of him. So watching old tapes, I'd say his selling was better than everybody's, and even to this day is better than everybody's. So I always think about, like, when I'm in a match, something that happens to me early on, if it's something to my arm, my leg, I'll continue to sell that body part throughout the match. Most guys, if they get drop kicked in the knee and get their legs taken out from under them, a minute later they're running around reversing people off an Irish whip, and no one would have known that they ever got their legs taken out from underneath them. I learned from my father that that's a story in and of itself, and that's what we do, is we're storytellers, right? And we can tell a story within a story a lot of times, and not because you came up with it the night before or before the match or while you were talking about spots, but it happens organically in the middle of that ring, and you can't call that in the back. Correct. You have to listen to the crowd and gauge how they're feeling, what they want to see, what they might not want to see, tease them, and know how to sell accordingly. And I learned that from my old man.
That's great. When you saw him do the RKO the first time out of nowhere, is that something you had? Were you instrumental in showing him that move?
I do not know where he come up with that, but it's a beautiful move, isn't it?
Where did it come from?
Well, Diamond Dallas Page had the Diamond Cutter,
right?
But John Laurinaitis had the Ace Crusher, and at the time he was the head of talent relations, and we were trying to think of something that I could do to everybody, no matter how big or how small they were, and the RKO was the move. And unfortunately, it requires me to take a bump every time I give the thing.
Yeah.
So, there's that. But.
Yes, when you were injured, you and I talked about him a lot, and you were very concerned he wasn't going to be able to make a comeback. Yeah. He was with his lovely family and everything. You came back stronger than ever. That period of time between the comeback and when you were hurt, did you have feelings at one time that this was it? You're not coming back?
Oh yeah, I had top neurologists telling me that, you know what, you had a great career, you have a life after wrestling, and you want to be comfortable. You don't want to be in pain the rest of your life. We're going to fix your back, but you're going to have to stop wrestling. And the first 6 months that I was out, I had that in the back of my head, and it was tough. It was mentally very challenging, and didn't really know what the future held for me, but I was able to find a couple doctors that had done the exact surgery that I needed on some MMA guys that went back to the octagon, competed, and were successful and had longer careers. So I knew that these were the doctors that I needed to have, put me under and go under the knife with.